Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope passing on Rumble and U-Tizzle. And, yeah, an armed conflict has been declared. The rules of the game are going to change a little bit, and we're going to talk about that and a lot more. But what do when I start off a broadcast? I play some videos for people to cogitate upon and also give them time to get a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or cold brew hot, whatever you like. And then we're going to be like butter and get on a roll. Let's see, what do I want to play first tonight? No, I don't want to play this one. Let me find another one. Oh yeah, this is a good one right here. Let me cut my mic off and we'll get going. Ha ha.
A tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now, Donald Trump. And these are not speaking up.
I would say that the mayor of all these Democrat cities, like Chicago, what you are doing to your own citizens is evil. Subjecting your own citizens to this constant bloodbath and then rejoicing in it is evil. And you should praise God every single day that President Trump is in the White House. The Democrat Party does not fight for, care about, or represent American citizens. It is an entity devoted exclusively to the defense of hardened criminals, gangbangers, and illegal alien terrorists. The Democrat Party is not a political party. It is a domestic extremist organization. They've handcuffed law enforcement, and as President Trump says, they have turned the streets of Chicago into a bloody killing field. Here in Washington, D.C., before President Trump launched the federal law enforcement liberation in D.C., there was a murder on the streets of this town every other day. Body after body after body after body. That was Washington, D.C. Residents were afraid to go to restaurants. They were afraid to go into entire neighborhoods. They were getting carjacked right and left, robbed and beaten. That was Washington, D.C. Now we're 2 weeks homicide free, the safest this city has ever been in its entire history. And the Democrats, instead of jumping up and down and saying, thank you, President Trump, thank you for saving our lives, thank you for saving our cities, instead of thanking him for that, they're saying, President Trump, how dare you save our lives? How dare you save our children? How dare you save our city? The Democrat Party, Sean, that exists today, it disgusts me.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm going with storm. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with
Hi, folks. We're going to take care of it, don't you know? And we are taking care of it. This notification to Congress that we're in an armed conflict has ramifications. And we're going to cogitate on, Trump did not post very much after the sombrero blitz earlier, yesterday and the day before. So things are getting a little quiet. And we're going to see, he did post a few things that are very important. We're going to talk about that too. But anyway, let me see who's coming in to visit me tonight. Sissy's here, Graybeard's here, Sherry's here, Randy's here, and Robin, Todd, Wayne's giving me thumbs up. I know you all are giving me thumbs up too. Pappy Two Bears is here. Robin, let's see, Choosy. General Milley's speech. I must have missed something. Did he give a speech? Yvonne, Elva, nice to see you. He did. He looked. Well, when did he give a speech? Probably while I was putting my studio together. Hi, Darla. Nice to see you. Jet lag. Rain's here. Nice to see everybody. Well, welcome aboard, folks. Welcome aboard. See, I got my got a meme up there you can put on your Meta page or your True Social or whatever site your X or wherever you're on. Put them on all of them because it's the truth. And the truth will set us free. Dark to light, right, folks? But anyway, I am looking at some of my... I was going to play this video of Trump landing at the United Nations, playing Nessun Dorma. But I'll save that for some other videos. We'll talk about the news, and we'll talk about what's happening overseas, what's happening here domestically. I was talking about that young creator that needed a kidney. I put on my True Social page. I put it on True Social, I believe, and also on my community page, for you all to check in with him and give me your support or whatever. And apparently he's going to be getting help. He's going to be going in surgery and having a kidney put in. And he was very sick and in the hospital, but he would come out and do videos confronting these in a very, very nice way. These lunatics that we're dealing with. And I'm glad that he's, looks like he's going to turn out in a positive way. I'm trying to look for here's one. Here's the one he put up. Oh, that's the guy. He said, I won't be able to attend. Unfortunately, I'll be recovering from surgery, but I wanted to help spread awareness for such an amazing woman. Liberty Hangout. And he's done videos with her, without her, and stuff like this. Caitlin Bennett, they're going to have a summit, national summit, October 16th through the 19th. So let's all pull for Adam and hope that his procedure goes well. And also these young people stepping up and grabbing that flag that Charlie Kirk did not let fall. Here's a cute one that was reposted by, I believe it was, who posted this? Was it Dan Scavino? I got this off of True Social, Turning Point USA. There you've got a little girl practicing to be a future up-and-coming Charlie Kirk. Isn't that wonderful? She's got her little teddy bears and stuff like that there. So, I just never even thought that people would be capable of thinking as putridly as they posting such vile things that they have posted. It's just awful. And I've decided that I'm not going to repost any garbage. in some cases, just to document the demonic behaviors, and for them to, rub their nose in it, I might do that. But I'm getting to the point like this young lady right here. This is the point I'm at. Whoa, where'd she go? Where you at? Here, this is the point I'm at. I don't know who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. Acknowledge him. I don't want to cuss him. I don't want to shake hands with him. I don't. It's like my old friend told a guy years ago. I told you all that story. He said, he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to somebody else. He said, I don't like you and I don't want you liking me. And it was just that simple. And, a way to tell him, look, just go somewhere else. Go exist somewhere else. Big country. But don't be part of my life. I had a post where, I'll have to find it. It's probably way down in my studio. Said, not only do I want the illegals to leave, I'm at the point where I want the people who want them to stay to leave. That's the point we're at, folks. Just tired of them, fed up with them. And here, Dan Scavino put this up. This clock. Now, of course, we're getting to the 2-day mark. This is about 5 hours from the time he posted it. But the White House has a clock up about how long we're going to be shut down. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? Let me see. I haven't been paying attention to chats. What's going on? Let me just cruising through here and see. Flannel Cheese Tank, how you doing? General Milley did look kind of. I don't remember him doing a recent speech. I really don't. I think he's. He may have been playing a role. He may have been playing a role to get some of the people who are. Not poking their heads up, but are subversives at heart, to give them courage to expose themselves. And that's the thing about PSYOPs. And I've said it many times before. Propaganda and PSYOPs are weapons. They're weapons. And that may be part of what Trump, is this the one where they said to shut down, to cut federal funding to Democrat-run states and cities. Number one weapon they have in this illegal psychological warfare campaign is the media. President Trump on Thursday openly threatened to use the government shutdown to cut federal spending to domestic-run states and cities, contradicting Vice President J.D. Vance, who said the day before the White House would not be targeting Democrats. No, we're going after programs that are wokey-doke and wasting the American people's money and financing a Marxist insurgency. Oh, it just so happens that they're Democrats. Stephen Miller told it like it was, okay? They are an organization that does not have our good in mind. They are an organization that's contrary to the laws of our land and our Constitution, okay? They got a good line of BS, but other than that, nothing else. And we're shining a light on the BS. Trump was expected to meet with Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought. Oh my God, Project 2025! On Thursday to discuss the cuts, and made it clear in social media posts and in recent interviews that he is targeting Democratic agencies. Well, it just so happens they're the ones promoting the garbage that needs to be flushed out of here, gone. Here's a, let's see. Where is it where Trump said he would, he was going to meet with Vaught? I'll pull it up in a minute. And he says of Project 2025. Let me see. Here's a couple from him. Let's see. They're real small, hard for me to see what they are. Here we go. In capital letters, Project 2025 fame. To deter, and you know the liberals are freaking out. To determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut. And whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people. So maybe this is their way of wanting to quietly and quickly make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. That is an olive branch, a little pat on dopey, glum Chuck Schumer's head, saying, good boy, good boy. Maybe you'll end up with a nice, peaceful remainder of your existence, just like Bob Mueller, right, folks? Right? Instead of having a meeting with a tree or whatever, with a long drop and a short rope. Material assistance, remember, folks? Because this is a coordinated campaign. A coordinated campaign, and it's been in operation for years. An uprising. But they've been doing it in a soft way, but an uprising nonetheless. So, yeah. Here. Trump. Whoa, what is going on? Now, if I get knocked off the broadcast, Trump, it's good to take a break from your phone sometimes. The libs, especially after he mentions Project 2025. I had a lot of Midas Touch quotes where they were saying, Trump is the Antichrist. Oh, I've never felt as miserable as I feel now. And the comments saying, coming to me too. This is horrible. Hey, take a break from your phone. Go out and smell some roses or something. You know, the man's trying to save our republic, okay? Not our democracy, our republic. So here's where Trump gave an interview, and he's talking about, where's that? What he's going to do with these programs. And if they would just settle down and listen to the man instead of freaking out all the time, they might have a little bit better of an existence. Where did it go? I just saw it. Holy cow. Let me find. Well, maybe it wasn't the time to play it. I don't know. Where did you go, President Trump? Let's see. Huh. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. See if I'm missing anything. Joshua, hi, nice to see you. Gloria, nice to see you. Bill's here. Oh, I put rigged for red on my title for a reason. I told you all that I looked at. I've got to Hunt for Red October on VHS. And I've got a VHS player. And I watched it. Rigged for Red is mentioned one time. One time. Rigged for Red, sir. And that was after they were ordered to blow the Red October out of the water. It meant they were in attack mode. That is what a lot of people expect. What does rigged for red mean? And I like that background. I was going to put rigged for red on my thumbnail. But a lot of people would not have understood it. I want people to tune in to get our perspective, right? My perspective and your all's perspectives. But I said, so I'll put armed conflict declared. But we are rigged for red. It means to fire when ready, to go after the opponent. So anyway, let's go ahead and play this video with Mr. T.
It's politics, and they're doing things and asking for things that you wouldn't want, and most people that are sane wouldn't want. Get taken care of with health care. And it's not, look, I have a bigger heart than they do, but it's not even that. Everybody in the world is going to enter our country and say, give us free health care, give us this, give us that. It's going to ruin all of the things that we have, all of the plans that we have. It subsists, it's there. And everything will be destroyed because no country has enough money to take care of that. So they want the illegals. They refuse to get away with open borders. They want to do open borders. If they ever got in, they'll open up the borders. We have closed borders now. You only come into our country legally. But they would open up the borders in 2 minutes. And you understand it better than anybody because you've covered it so well. They want transgender for everybody. They want men and women's sports. They haven't learned what happened in the last election. I think they forgot. And it's pretty amazing, actually. But in terms of the dollars or the money that we're talking about, they want us to take care of illegals. They want us to take care of people that can absolutely get a job. They're healthy and strong as you can be and young. And this is not what this was all about.
There was an OMB memo going around suggesting that there might be firings during the shutdown. Do you think that will happen if the shutdown goes for a little bit of time, sir?
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault. And it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut. So you could say, a lot of people are saying Trump wanted this, that I wanted this closing, and I didn't want it. But a lot of people are saying it because I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place. And I will probably do that.
Yeah, we've got programs that are just ridiculous, and their main purpose is to perpetuate this distorted view of government and purpose of government, and we're going to get rid of that. Hi, Melinda. How are you doing? Let me see who else is here. Randy, nice to meet you. Meet you. Hi, Robin. Let's see. Who is it? Robert. Cole, nice to see you. Don't make false claims, man. Who you talking to, Robert? I'm not sure who you're talking to. If there's anything I've said that's not on the button, why don't you educate me? But maybe you're talking to somebody else in the chats. I don't know. But anyway, welcome aboard now, like they do in the Senate, right? Don't shriek like a Karen during the Senate hearing or draw 25. Let's see. I'm saying don't. What does my thumbnail say, Robert? You're telling me don't say there's an armed conflict. What does my thumbnail say, Robert? Larry, nice to see you. Miss Menderson, nice to see you also. Ha ha ha. Oh my goodness, Bill, sorry to hear that. I hope you're not in the hospital over something serious. Not to heighten tensions, there's already enough. I'm telling you what I am. You think I declared an armed conflict? Hi, Darla. Anne's here. Armed conflict declared. Declared by Mountain Man. I have started all kinds of trouble around the world. Donald Trump didn't know. ABC News. No, this is Fox News. ABC also had one too. I just picked the best thumbnail. I go by thumbnails. Breaking, Trump administration declares U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels. Hold it. Here, the devil's in the details. Breaking, the Trump administration tells Congress the U.S. is now in a non-international armed conflict. Isn't that an unusual choice of words? With drug cartels. Officials have also designated the cartels as, quote, terrorist organizations. Let me see, Robert said. Oh, God. The point I'm making, yes, when it comes to cartels, yeah, we're definitely an armed conflict. Yeah, but non-international armed conflict means what? Domestic, correct? If it's non-international, it's on our soil. On our soil. Unless, what? It's up in the sky? A bird? A plane? Who could it be? Superman. Super Mountain Man. Mountain Man's the one who started all that. I started it. No, I'm just kidding now. I'm joking around. But we've been told to keep our head on a swivel. I didn't talk about this the other day. A weird thing that happened. I'm not reading anything into it, but I'm just saying the kind of stuff that gets people going, what? Have you ever seen a gas explosion do that to a building? I mean, it's like one floors of one section collapse. That's a gas explosion, they say. Part of a New York apartment building collapses. I could have got some more thumbnails where it said it was because somebody left a stove on, is what they're claiming. Was the intent for John McAfee? Remember McAfee? McAfee, how do you say his name? When you cut your computer on, it says this is protected by McAfee security systems. They were after him for years. He was hiding out. It looked to me like a Marlowe yacht. And they finally caught him in Spain. And he kept saying, I got a dead man switch. If they ever get a hold of me, I'm going to let go. Everything in the world and all the powerful people in the world are going to, whatever. But they say and he said, I am not, suicidal. And then he was gone, right? And then, like a couple of weeks later, that building in Florida collapsed. And it just so happened his son-in-law or his son had a unit in there. So these kinds of things, let me refresh my memory as to who I was talking with. Robert. These kinds of things make people go, make kind of things that make you go, So, drug cartels got a long arms like an octopus. They get into everything. I had a friend who used to say, I got long green, and he would take his hand and swipe it up his arm. Stretched out on from his shoulder to his fingertips. I got long green, he used to say. He had Cal Ripken on his books, loan Cal Ripken money. But anyway, they got long green. And sometimes things that happen are part of the intricate web. put a cape on my Punisher picture. I'm going to have a different picture. If I can get around to it. I got so much to do during the day, and I got to get these broadcasts ready. It takes about 5 hours a day. Then do the actual broadcast. You said hi to me? Wait a minute. Miss Minderson, you said hi to me. Where'd it go? I saw it. Oh, Mark Z's channel, but you weren't on. Oh, Mark Z. Who's Mark Z? Somebody might have stole my name. There's a lot of mountain men out there. Remember the guy said, I just bought you a coffee, Mountain Man. I checked it out. No, you didn't buy me a coffee. Somebody else named Mountain Man got it. But anyway, yeah, you look at it from this perspective here. There's two ways of looking at it. Okay, here is where a guy's out here doing some kind of Q&A with people. I see he's got a microphone and maybe an amplifier. People can come up and talk to him. And this girl decides to get nasty, get physical.
Here's the light. Here's the light. Stop. Oh. Dumb, stupid bitch. Oh. Back the fuck up.
So they sprayed her with mace. Cops got involved. Now, these kind of incidences, you think, well, these aren't, where you would call the military acting up. And here she is when the cops tried to arrest her.
And you're violent. You're evil. You're not Christians. You are evil, violent people, and you're not Christians. If you were Christians, why would you mace me in the eye?
You attacked
maced me in the eye. You are not Christians. You maced me. You people maced me because you're fucking evil and you will get what you deserve. I mark it on my fucking grave. Take video. Take all the video you need. You're evil people. You're not Christians. Take everything you need. Take the video. You are evil people. You are trash.
Back up.
You're evil people.
You have zooms on your camera. Back up.
You have committed a crime. You are violent. I'm sure it's on somebody's video right here. You can ask. You cannot tell. You can ask. This is ridiculous.
So she's a big mouth little roustabout. Of course you wouldn't say, well, this doesn't, you don't need the National Guard. No, of course not. But did you catch that? How she said, you're not a Christian 1,000 times when she's the one that, that was weird the way he came. It looked like she would want to sit in his lap for a second. And then I don't know. What do you make of this? What would you do if you're sitting in that chair? I guess they were talking and she kind of sidles up to him and then all of a sudden goes wild.
Here's the light. Here's the light.
Stop. Oh. Dumb, stupid bitch.
Oh. Back the fuck up.
Now, that wasn't exactly Christian either, so I don't know. There's not, but that's not, those. You got people having to, like this here. Crowder wearing a bulletproof vest at a conservative campus. The left is violent. Changed my mind. Well, because you don't know who's out there. The Charlie Kirk assassination and the attempted assassination on Trump and all, other, well, look here, what radicalized you, right? What radicalized you? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Pick one. Pick one. So, what were they called? The riot squad or SWAT team or whatever in Portland, Oregon. They all quit en masse today. They quit because their rules of engagement, suck. And they're sick of it. And they're not getting backed up by the politicians. And people are running wild. Yeah, they're having some successes, but the successes far outweigh the bad things that are happening or could happen or are getting ready to happen. Bay Stiff True put up, I'm so glad the right can have peaceful conversations with people behind bulletproof glass and a team of security last minute with no prior announcement on location. This prevents Stephen from attacking the audience members listening because of how violent the right can be. I had one thing in my studio where, let me see if I can find it. I didn't put it up. Instead, I did a little tribute. But the guy, by the way, did anybody hear about this guy? It's an odd-looking character. The fence jumper at the... They must not have took him down too hard. He's still got his sunglasses on. But I might have took it out of my studio, but it had Irina and Charlie Kirk side-by-side pictures. And the guy put above it, I haven't been the same since. I haven't been the same since. Societies I've talked about, I got made fun of the pronunciation, even though the pronunciation is correct. The psyche of a society. Our psyche was damaged by those two instances. And once violence starts, it's like a wildfire. Trump even alluded to it during his speech to the generals. He said, you don't want to get the other side started. That's when there's really going to be problems. Do you all remember him saying that? Let me put my other meme back up. There we go. So the blame game's going around, and that's the thing. They're humor, throwing some humor in there with these sombreros and things, diffuses situations. They always had music and humor. Okay, I remember when there were going to be riots during Nixon's administration. It was after the Chicago riots, after the Democratic Convention. The Nixon administration got James Brown to do a concert in Chicago to settle things down. Do you all remember that? James Brown, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Turn me loose. Let me go. I'm Dr. Feel Good. Heck. Anyway, so the humor with the sombrero memes, people aren't offended by it. The thing is funny. I saw this video and I said, oh God, here we go. I was sick of watching people saying really mean stuff. You fascist Yahtzees. And I saw the yellow hair. And I said to myself, oh boy, because Joy Reid's got the yellow hair. She's calling everybody fascists and Yahtzees. And that guy that's dating Crystal Ball, he's got, I can't think of his name, Kyle Kalinske. Kyle Kalinske, he's trying to look like somebody from Hawaii Five-0 or something with his yellow, not Hawaii Five-0. What am I thinking about? Anyway. I said, oh boy, what's this guy going to talk about? But it just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover.
This message is for Donald Trump. Don't you dare give these sons of bitches any inches. Don't do it. Don't fold to Chuck's demands. If you gotta close the government down, close the government down. We the people support you. The days of getting walked over on, the days of the abuses the other side has committed against our country are over. Stand, which that is what the Democratic Party is. Keep doing what you do.
People, Steve Miller was saying, the Democrat Party is degenerated into an organization that is actively working to subvert our Constitution, our rule of law, with typical chants and comments that are not true, like threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to democracy, even though the word democracy isn't mentioned anywhere in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. We are a republic, democratic republic. Yeah, I don't watch him much. I've seen some clips from him. He does the typical talking points, Kyle Kalinske. Graybeard, how you doing? Oh, yeah, nobody's going to forget these jokes, Robert. Nobody is. It's made people very uncomfortable. It gives them the creeps. It makes them physically ill. Not me, not a lot of people that are used to this stuff, but people who had no idea how bad it was. Especially older people or people who live alone, and then you realize, wow, this is downright vicious. Downright vicious. And how can you look at them the same way? And that's what's happening with this shutdown. They're getting caught so blatantly in their misdirection. Okay. Here, speaking of humor, here's the White House put this up. Crayon drawing of a sombrero. Almost Friday. Our social media manager was furloughed, but almost Friday. And what people have come to learn about these shutdowns. Furloughed. When you come back, you get a lump sum check. These shutdowns have been happening since the Reagan administration. How many years ago was that? A lot of different utility companies. They started doing it with the military a long time ago. That you got to make sure the person's not deployed somewhere before you cut their power off or try to foreclose on their house or something. Same thing with the shutdowns. Are you dealing with? And it's basically a paid vacation. So it's disingenuous, their arguments. And getting on TV saying, that's what's her name? Maxine Waters said. Anyway, here's somebody getting caught in a lie. His name. Wait a minute, how come my screen won't change? There we go. She's, I don't remember. I don't know what you mean by that.
I haven't heard anybody in my party saying that illegal immigrants should get access to the health insurance marketplace.
I'm so glad you said that. Actually, I have some tape of your Democratic Party members saying this on the debate stage. So they've all said it. Let's play the clip.
A lot of you have been talking tonight about these government health care plans that you've proposed in one form or another. This is a show of hands question. Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
Senator, that's literally every member of your party, from moderate to more progressive, that have said that in the past.
Yeah, they're trying to play dumb. Like, oh, I didn't know. That's not what we. That's not what we stand for. And it's like, yeah, you're full of it. But I played that clip a long time ago. I got that clip in my library. And so they're acting like the American people are for them. And, think about Trump's truth that I put up earlier. Are they doing it to make America great again? What? People they're not stupid. They have to know. And here's Chuck Schumer making I guess voluntarily making a fool out of himself. New York Slimes, okay? Maggie Haberman, remember that? From the Post from 17. And her trust funds for her kids being paid for by some overseas entity, remember? And she was warned. Along with Chuck Schumer, I don't know, but they're allowing themselves to be made a mockery of.
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown. There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed. The question in that poll is biased. Biased. In the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the... That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times. You can be sure of that. Neither do you. Okay.
So, I just want to touch on this cartel business one more time. More times. They're in everything. They can't get away with what they're getting away with by not greasing some palms. Okay? Politicians, police officers, lawyers, judges. A U.S. immigration judge in Baltimore has denied a bid for asylum for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Immigration judge rejects asylum for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Let me tell you something. Back and forth from Texas and who the hell knows where else. Dozens and dozens of trips getting paid anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a trip. That he wasn't bringing something else back with him. Oh no, me only traffic in of age people for construction work. No, you better believe he had minors. You better believe he had a little bag of something coming with him. It's about the money, and they're going to move that stuff any way they can. And they take advantage of our system. They milk it like a cow. Come on, Bessie, pulling on those teats. Come on, Bessie, getting every drop out of our system they can, whether it's through human trafficking, drug trafficking, or taking advantage of social services. And the people that are mules, they get a percentage every damn month. You can bet your ass on that. They don't just say, hey, me take you to America, and you say thank you, and I hope you have a great life. I'll see you. Maybe I'll never see you again, but you have a great life. No, they say, I'm going to see you every month. They ripped the page right out of the mafia. And do you think Kilmar Abrego Garcia reported his earnings? Of course not. Do you think his blushing bride or girlfriend or whatever there in the background, do you think she told people at social services what he made? Or do you think they got food stamps? Do you think they got housing? Do you think they got heat, fuel assistance? They got everything under the sun that you're eligible for. And where do you think he laid his head? You think they marked him down for the... not. You think he reported his income? Of course not. He was probably making six figures. So anyway, his rear end's got to go. But it was like I said last month. I said he's going to be around for at least 60 days on American soil. Just like that Mahmoud Khalil. He's still wandering around America. Now, Kilmar's in the joint. But he's got 30 days to appeal. It's going to get thrown out. What do you think his wife and kids are doing? Or his girlfriend and kids, baby mama, whatever they want to call it now, for the so-called new American family. What do you think they're doing? She got a job being a executive assistant for somebody working at Merck or General Motors? No. No, she's got her bills paid for. Are they even his kids? Maybe some of them. Maybe mama's baby, daddy's baby. So we're all paying for this cacophony of immorality and fraud. The character they was being paid $300,000 a year, okay? I didn't get into this last night. But the school board that voted him in, they were all liberal, okay? And the code section is 18 USC 1324. Remember I said that 1324, that's an easy number to remember. All you got to do is invert the 2 and the 3. And you can remember a code. It says, say 1, 2, 3, 4. You say 1, 3, 2, 4. That's a little memory trick. So that says it's a felony to those school board members that voted him on there, that approved this guy wasn't even a citizen, had an order for removal, had a weapons charge that was buried. They're funding him. And who's he kicking back to? Nobody? They let him slide on all that because they like his looks? They should all be charged, federally charged. And that's when birds sing. He's one of thousands. Like I was saying last night, how many people that are going to be relieved of their jobs aren't even citizens being paid by the federal government? Here's the post I couldn't find last night. A guy named Peter St. Ange. I forget how long the video was. I didn't want to upload the whole video. But because this is the important quote from the video. Congratulations, America. The federal government is shut down. That was easy. The key is how long? 61 days is the magic number where Trump can permanently fire 740,000 federal workers, saving hundreds of billions of dollars. Well, he's already gotten rid of about 150-some thousand just in the last few days because they were told, you get a little severance package, we'll buy you out. I don't know how much it is. Depends on maybe their posts, their salary, their wages, how long they worked. He's already gotten rid of hundreds of thousands of them on a probationary period. But 154,000 took it. The 20 grand lump sum, maybe 50 grand in some cases, 30 grand. And goodbye. You get health care for 90 days, 30 days, however long, and then you go find a job. Find a job where you have a boss. Find a job where you actually have responsibilities. Find a job where you have tasks you have to complete, not a job where you sit and talk and smack about the Constitution or how we're on stolen land or reparation. No, you take all that crap with you. Clarence Thomas gave an interview where he said he can't hardly talk to new law students. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like they've lost their damn minds. They're not using logic. And he's being gracious and saying, well, I think they're just parroting. They're parroting things they've been taught. They're not using their minds to look at the world terms, like what happened to this individual? Why were they in court? Why were they complaining? What is the best way to find a remedy and really apply your knowledge of the law to cases instead of cookie cutter BS slogans, Marxist slogans. And he said, I just can't even talk to them. It's like they're from another planet. And that goes with what I was saying about the one judge. I can't recall his name right now. He's an older, not very old. He's probably younger than me, but he's an Asian man and American to the bone. He said, I'm not taking more Columbia applicants for my district, any of my judges in my district, because they're worthless. They cause problems. They've been taught something that is not in line with the American system. So how many people out of that 700 and some thousand, never mind them being unlawfully here? It could be a low number. But how many of them have been indoctrinated where they don't even know basic operations of law? We know that they even acknowledge reality. They can go for years calling Trump the R word, as in apist, right? He grabs women by the you-know-what-ski when he clearly says, if you listen to the tape, when you have money, they come, they flock to you, they let you. And he said later on, as little as 3 months ago, he said it's an unfortunate fact of life that's always been around for thousands of years. There are some women, if men have money or influence or power, there are women who let you grab them. Oh, what they call Trump. He's grabbing women. You better watch out. He's going to grab you. Just childish. It's either they're being childish or they're really that damn stupid and can't process facts and reality. Here's a little comment thread where a guy puts in there, let me move this over here. A guy puts in it was on that thread with Kilma Abrego Garcia. Especially after they photoshopped his hands to try to set him up and take his due process away. Kilma Abrego Garcia has had more due process than he ever would be due. Any American citizen doesn't get what he's gotten would be due. Nobody gets that. But the politicians have stepped in. And that takes me back to cartels and drugs and who's pulling. What's going on here with this? Okay? So here comes this media-driven BS about his photograph of his knuckles. And they said they photoshopped MS-13 on him. I put in there, I use that a lot in my comments. The symbols of MS-13, ignoramus. The symbols are of MS-13, ignoramus. The letters, numbers put on photo by law enforcement as identifiers of the symbols, Einstein. Quit repeating gibberish falsehoods. So they see the markers that the investigators put above the tattooed symbols to identify them, like the smiley face with the crossed out eyes. Okay, the skull. They say this is an M, this is an S, and this is a 1, and this is a 3. Oh, they photoshopped MS-13 on that. Remember when Terry Moran, Terry the moron, who got fired from ABC, did his rude, snotty interview with Trump in the Oval Office? And he was saying, well, those were photoshopped. And Trump said, do you want to see the picture? No, I don't need to see the picture. But you're a mean person, President Trump, not giving due process. Well, he got his ass fired, as he should have had. But they don't even want to look at the picture they're claiming is photoshopped. So somebody answers me. Duma Atreides. And I should have just told him to self-deport. Okay? But anyway, he's answering me. He says, Mountain Man 2, it was a stupidly huge stretch to make. Sorry, you are prone to buying into excuses for trampling the constitutional due process we've had since the start of the country. What an idiot. I have to wait till the smoke clears out of my ears before I answer, and I did. I said, I stand labels placed on photos by law enforcement to identify symbols. Did you look at the picture? Are you dense? IQ test must be required for voter eligibility, obviously. Teachers also. We need to start giving cognitive tests to actually see if somebody's brain is functioning before we allow them to be in positions of public trust. Or allow them to vote. You wouldn't allow a vegetable to vote, would you? Somebody sitting there with their tongue hanging out of their head and oatmeal all over their chest. Hey. Oh, yeah, you can vote. Anyway, I went on a rant. I didn't mean to go on a rant. But just showing you all a little bit of my day. They exaggerate. They grab hold of something and they shout down the real story. They don't never let somebody they shout down facts and they exaggerate. So anyway, let's get back to some of this stuff that's going on here. Here's a young lady, a journalist. Somebody took a flagpole and cracked her in the eyeball on purpose. There she is. And everybody knows Andy No. And again, people say, oh, you're homophobic, you're Islamophobic, blah, blah, blah. Andy No's gay, and I've always gave Andy No his respect, okay? Never said anything about it. It's these lunatics and Fruit Loops that I'm after, and I don't care for, okay? And he doesn't bother children. He lives his life and he does his job, and he does a damn good job of it. He's been beaten in the streets. But anyway, after letting my colleague Katie Davenport's Antifa assault suspect escape, the Portland police asked the public to help identify. So it makes it look like they aren't ignoring the case, but they are ignoring it. I speak through the experience of multiple assaults being handled and quickly closed by the PPB. Katie put her life at risk to find an officer and chase down the suspect, only for the officer to let the suspect simply walk away while unidentified didn't even make the person take their mask down. The person went inside the Antifa encampment where NLG members were before, being ushered by the cell, the terrorist cell, inside the Antifa safe house at 677 South Lowell Street, Unit 152 in Southwest Portland. They know exactly where these activists are. And she could have lost an eyeball. Imagine the memes and the fun they would have had with that. Her losing an eye. Or her life. So here's the dopey cop. Got the suspect right there. About the same height and stature of the one I showed you assaulted out of the blue. The person sitting with a microphone and then told everybody how they weren't Christians. About the same. A frustrated little dwarf. There's a close-up. Oh, I can't believe it. A nose ring. Anyway, that person got to go spend the time in the apartment, laugh and joke, and maybe put on a furry suit, and God knows what else they do. And that's the reason why the strike force, what do they call them? It's Portland might be just a SWAT team. They just quit as a group. They just said, no, we're out of here. You guys aren't backing us up, and you're not letting us do what we need to do. Find yourself some other chumps. Let's see. This is a clip from Steve Bannon. And somebody titled it, I can't hear it very good. Maybe it'll play better here with my mic off. This is steps to draining the swamp. What's going on with the government shutdown? Let's listen to it and see what they say. Now remember, Steve Bannon, they want to say Trump is going after his political enemies. Well, you already put Steve Bannon and a lot of other people in jail.
Appropriation in place, then the President of the United States has a significant amount of authority to eliminate spending to comport with the lack of that appropriation, minus security, things that are life-saving, national defense. But other will be Director Russ Vought to put that plan in place. They can take a wrecking ball to a lot of these bureaucracies that are unnecessary and are just elevating the debt, serving no public purpose. So in that respect, just legally and statutorily, I don't understand what the Democrats are thinking, and I'm kind of glad that they're this inept.
Yeah, they kind of think they're exempt, but they're not, especially after 61 days. And the boneheads that didn't take the buyout are going to be sorry. Okay. All right. If you use Mountain, no, it's not Mountain Man 2, Miss Vendor Sue. It's all one word. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man. That's it. All one word. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man. Give it a try and report back to us. You'll see a thing that says walk through history with me, Mountain Man. You click on that and you'll be right on the page. Huh? Yeah, it's 1:10. My timer says it's about 1:11 if you want to come back to where we were. Well, Roland, they're called nose rings, but we used to call them, and not as derogatory, but part of life. They're called hog rings, H-O-G, hog rings. And you put that ring in a hog's nose so he won't root up underneath the fence and get out, or under the gate. It'll stop them from tearing up too much. You put a hog ring in a pig's nose. And I just know that because that's the way life is. And you can also put in a cow's nose, a bull's nose, whatever, because you can tie a rope or a string to it and they'll follow you wherever you go. They're called hog rings. We used to call them hog rings. Some people call them bull rings. Depends on what they're dealing with, what they're raising. And if she said she was a minor, Rain was saying, prove it. Show some ID. You just can't stand there and squawk that you're a minor. Doesn't mean you cannot. You don't have to identify yourself. You injure somebody, assault somebody, you commit a crime, you identify yourself. And that cop didn't do it. And he's got his fat face going all around media. Oh, it's disgusting seeing it on human beings. It's disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, here's James O'Keefe. Listen to what these professors, you want to talk about, is be looking at huge class action lawsuits. And willful intent. These colleges are going to let these people put these kinds of posts up on their letterhead or using their name. They ought to be held responsible.
O'Keefe Media has obtained leaked emails from Curry College revealing professors using official faculty email lists to call Charlie Kirk a Nazi, fascist, Christian, nationalist, and writing that he, quote, approved of his own killing. After the murder of Charlie Kirk, Curry College put out a mass email to all members of the university, including students, acknowledging there have been heavy events in the first 2 weeks of September, alluding to Charlie and 9/11. But in the leaked emails, Vice President Eric Morisep invited faculty to share feedback on the campus-wide message. Professors responded with anger and disappointment that Curry College acknowledged Kirk's death. Senior lecturer and professor Benjamin Chicka wrote, quote, Charlie Kirk approved of the way Charlie Kirk was killed, and that he was, quote, ashamed that our college lowered our flags to half-mast for a bigot. Chicka went on, saying, quote, many better people have been assassinated with no recognition. Professor Janet Ferrone in the email chain goes on to agree with her colleague Benjamin Chicka. Place for a debate, I am writing because I definitely agree with what Benjamin said, as I feel like we are being gaslit in this country to make Charlie Kirk into some national hero. At OMG, we are shining a light on what people behind the scenes are saying. This is not just a debate about free speech, it's about normalizing political violence and exposing the evil of these sorts of professors and faculty and staff that think it's good to assassinate people because of their beliefs. If you have more, reach out to us, tips@o'keefemediagroup.com or a signal at 914-491-9395. Stay tuned and more to come.
There, I played the tip number. If you all see some of this radical, ridiculous, offensive garbage, like that one jerk, well, he died the way he wanted to die. I have said many times, If somebody asked me, should we ban cars because of what Darrell Brooks did running people down during a Christmas parade? He's currently spending how many decades in jail? I would say, well, that the risk you take, the price you pay to have cars. We shouldn't stop civilization from being able to travel in cars because of a Darrell Brooks. Does that mean some nose-ring lunatic can run me down in the street? You morons. It's getting sickening. Kind of like we're not paying for undocumented people. We're on to that damn scam. I was going to put in my thumbnail, documented schmockumented. Illegal is illegal, okay? And we understand what you do. You put these legal sounding names on. Temporary protective status. Paroled. Oh, who signed the paroles? The auto pen while Joe was drooling in his oatmeal? And we've documented them. Well, they've lost their temporary protected status. They've lost their paroles. They're here illegally. And just because you got them documented doesn't mean they deserve one damn thing. Now, any human being goes to a hospital with an injury, bleeding or life-threatening or a broken bone, they'll be cared for. It does not matter. Nobody's going to be denied care. But they play it off like people are going to be, I can't go in the hospital. Well, it's all BS. They have a moral and legal obligation to take care of any human being that's injured. So I could play this idiot yesterday. Now here's another representative. I don't know his pedigree. I don't know where he's born. I don't know where his family came from. His name Roe, R-O. How many people do you know named Roe? And what's his other name? I had a saying used to make my ex. That's how you spell it. Aggravator. I would say, look, you can't be half pregnant. You either are or you aren't. So here he is trying to tell us, well, you're only half pregnant because we're only paying for a few people. Compared to the whole budget, it's not that much money. Yeah, to who, you idiot?
In terms of health care, the reality is they're just not being honest. The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is such a small portion of the Medicaid. And so we can argue that point, but the reality that even the vice president would acknowledge, that anyone who looks at the numbers will acknowledge, is 90 to 95% of the funding we're talking about is talking about funding for Americans.
90 to 95% goes to American citizens. How much is billion? Pennies made. It all adds up. Here's some. I want to get back to this. This is where Jack Posobiec put this up from 2017. Wait a minute, I got to redo this. There we go. All right, Miss Mindersue said, boom, boom, boom. I got to give Miss Mindersue some booms. Hang on, Miss Mindersue. Let me give you some booms. I haven't used my booms in a while. No, I give hearts. But anyway, Miss Mindersue made it to buy me a coffee. She put in all one word. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man. That's it. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man. Did you get to see where it says, walk with me through history? I put that up there about, I don't know, 3 years ago. Ah, there's your hearts, Miss Minder Sue. Ah, there we go. Thank you, Miss Minder Sue. I got hearts for you coming on the screen. Yeah, there we go. Lots of heart. There you go. Thank you, Miss Minder Sue. So if anybody wants to help support the channel, as this is a viewer-supported channel only, I want to thank Mike and Bev for helping out this week, and now Miss Minder Sue. Mike and Bev have taken the link and put it in their memory somewhere in their phone or their computer, or where they just pull it up. They got the link. You might want to do that, Miss Minder Sue, so you don't have to type a lot of stuff. Ha, ha, ha. But anyway, this was, here's the moment Antifa effed around with Jack Posobiec, and they quickly found out. This was 2017. So they've got even more stuff pumped in their head over the last 9 years. But anyway, Jack was kind of proud of this.
That's not how doxing works.
I'm not going to.
That's a Nazi.
I'm not a Nazi. What are you doing, man? Hey!
Whoa!
You got a problem?
Yeah, I got a fucking problem. You want to fight? Fuck away from me.
I'm standing here. I don't want to fight, man. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight, man.
He attacked. This is self-defense. Well, he's self-defense.
No, self-defense. I was the guy.
We have the whole thing on camera.
Notice that. Might not have been her, but it looked like Caitlyn. But anyway, he just walked up and slugged somebody, and that obviously wasn't that same Portland cop. It was a different cop. Locked him up. There you go, Miss Minister. Yeah. You saw my Batman background, right? Hi, Joshua. How you doing? Flying cars. I don't know about that. I've been in my share of close calls with airplanes. Dropping awful quick. Here's where we're at. Where are we? Speaking of Jane Brown, you know, I saw some comments there about Jane Brown. Here's where somebody put up a statue of Tina Turner. And, you know, I had a lot of respect for Tina Turner, you know, her energy, and she went, you know, well into her 70s performing in her hometown of Brownsville, Texas. Man, they put a lot of hair on her head, but this is what you get when somebody says, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. I want to be a sculptor. And that, you know, that ain't nothing from Michelangelo, I can tell you that. Here's the a little video of the statue in its entirety. I guess it's okay for a high school project, you know. But this was bronze and very, very expensive. Not a high school project. It kind of looks like a, I don't know, an 8-year-old with a big head of hair in a tutu. I don't know. But if the people are happy, why worry about it, right? Now, speaking of humor, here is Hakeem Jeffries. Trump War Room said, don't make us post another sombrero meme, Hakeem. Hakeem Jeffries said, J.D. Vance thinks we'll surrender to the Republicans' effort to cut healthcare because of a sombrero meme. Not happening, bro. J.D. Vance has already shown that he's cool with the kind of memes they put out about him. But they don't have any imagination. They can't think of any way to get under somebody's skin. J.D. Vance doesn't care about this video, but I'll play it anyway.
President's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer recently. You've said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
He doesn't care about that. I mean, he thinks it's funny himself about the fat-faced kid. He doesn't care. He does not care. Here is where Carolyn Levitt, this reporter, I tell you, I went on a rant in the middle of this video talking about, well, it's immigrants that you're forcing to do without health care. No, that's the lie that they're putting across. I don't give a damn if you document pretenses. They're put in here to change our electoral college, to change our representatives in Congress. Okay? People that have no understanding or grasp of our Constitution or our way of life are being bribed to come here with freebies to alter an election using foreign influence. But anyway, that's not the way Carolyn handled it, but that's the way I'd handle it. And I told him he was a Marxist operative. Go back and talk to your Marxist operative and get another talking point. And then say, next question, I'm not answering you. But anyway, Carolyn did a better job than me.
To undocumented immigrants, even though it's against the law for them to get these benefits. I know there's some debate about law-free presence.
Do you think that illegal aliens should receive Medicaid benefits? Medicaid benefits that go to the most vulnerable
I didn't ask about benefits, and that's a debate.
Medicaid benefits that were designed to help low-income families and Americans in our country.
But they can't receive them.
But what the Biden administration did, Gabe, is they allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world
Parole and temporary
to come
protected
into our
status.
country, yes, and they paroled them into the system. And you cover immigration, and you know well, it was a complete abuse of our immigration
But my
system.
question
and they
isn't
slapped a Band-Aid on these illegals. They called it temporary protective status, and then they allowed those illegals from all over the world to get free benefits. And you know who would like free benefits?
I understand that point,
Hardworking
Caroline.
Americans who work their butts off every day, who are living paycheck to paycheck because of the Biden-induced inflation crisis. And there were higher wait times at hospitals under the Biden administration. We saw these illegals committing crimes all over our country, and they're getting things for free. That is fundamentally unfair, and this administration
But
is not
for the ER.
So, yeah, she did a better job than me. She didn't lose her cool. Here, Laura Loomer, no, what's her name? Anna Paulina Luna. Put up, J.D. Vance some may say it's a Photoshop. And he's got a sombrero on and a big mustache. And J.D. Vance answered, it's real. I ought to find that picture of Trump carrying a shark out of the water. Remember that? I got to look way back in the archives for that. Don Jr. said, haters will. I got to find that. But anyway, Greta von Doomberg. Here's Greta von Doomberg. She needs to find a young man, fall in love, have about somewhere between a half a dozen and a dozen kids, and get all this stuff out of her head and be a good mother. But do you think that's going to happen? But anyway, she's been kidnapped.
My name is Greta Thunberg. I'm a citizen of Sweden. If you are watching this video, I have been abducted and taken against my will by Israeli forces. Our humanitarian mission was non-violent and abiding by international law.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're going to keep her, but they're tired. dangerous situation. And hopefully nothing bad happens to her, but yeah, that's got to run out of steam at some point. Wait a minute, what's this one here? This is from Posobiec and from Trump. Posobiec said breaking National Guard could deploy to Portland as soon as today amid wave of far-left violence. Now, it was getting ugly. It wasn't just those instances I showed you. And that response by Trump about Schumer playing ball, Congress playing ball to make America great again, like a question. You think they're trying to help us out? Okay, that's tempering things a little bit. But then when you see a comment about non-international armed conflict, namely armed conflict on American soil, Venezuela has got how many, what's your guesstimate of military-age men that are Venezuelan citizens in this country right now? And of that number, how many of them could be armed? Is there stuff going on that may be better off not said, to make sure we have a civil society, we don't have people being overly suspicious? But at what point do you have to warn people that there could be danger? Ukraine invaded Russia when they did their last offensive. They had 10,000 soldiers. And Russia's still trying to pry them out. And they took over the Kursk territory, okay? 10,000. A major superpower like Russia. So anyway, Trump said the best thing that could happen to the Republican Party, a communist mayor in New York City. The Dems have gone stone cold crazy. President DJT. Yeah, they have. Here's a report. Most of this video is short. It's about Newsmax, but I'll play the part where they say truth is freedom, and then I'll stop it. But anyway, let me play this report.
Update for our breaking news right now out of England. We know now that 2 people are dead after an attack near calendar Yom Kippur. We'll keep an eye on the developments. We'll bring them to you as we get them throughout the morning.
Information.
Information is truth is freedom. Newsmax. An attack on a synagogue. I'm not going to play it on YouTube. It's horrific. And he took a car, plowed into a synagogue. A blade. Multiple people stabbed at a synagogue in Manchester, England. I'm sorry, I was going to say New England. England. BBC Radio says 5 Northwest Ambulance Service had declared a major incident. The police shot DAAD, the attacker, outside. I just got a still photo of the cops on the scene. American news media has not shown the suspect. Why do you think that is? They haven't shown the suspect. I got a picture of the suspect, and I'm going to show it. I'm just looking at chats. Rain said 100,000. Could be. Anyway, there's the suspect. And the video I saw, it was just too full of violent imagery, okay? And it did show him get his ticket out of here. And they claimed he had a BOMB vest on. See? He's on the right, of course. After they there was at least half a dozen bodies laying on the ground. Maybe they didn't want to post his picture because he's Irish. I don't know. But anyway, there he is. Just moments before armed officers came and stopped it. So, yeah. That's why I keep it cool when people are talking about blaming a certain group of people for all the world's woes. Putin gave a speech today, or maybe there he is, Vladimir Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered a speech at the Valdai Forum. Here are the main points for you. Now, this is translated from Ruski land to English. The times are such that one must be ready for anything. That sounds kind of like head on a swivel. Multipolarity has become a direct consequence of attempts to maintain global hegemony. The West was unprepared to give up hegemony, unable to resist the temptation of absolute power. Talking about the EU primarily, and players in the US. Whoa, that's the wrong one. Here we go. There is no counter to a crowbar except another crowbar, and as always appears in the world. It always appears in the world. And like I say, it's translated from Russian, so you got to kind of get the feel for what he's saying. Putin warned Europe that in the USA, public demand has led to rather radical change in political direction, and this example could be contagious. Some countries want to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia to make the people suffer. It's time for them to calm down. The West has started banning everything. Soon everything will be banned to hell. But bans do not work. Is Russia going to attack NATO? This nonsense is impossible to believe. Putin. If anyone wants to compete with the Russian Federation in this military sphere, to each their own. Russia's retaliatory measures against the militarization of Europe will not be long in coming, added the president. Another series of the most important statements of the Supreme Commander. I don't know if Trump was being ironic when he said that Russia is a paper tiger. Go ahead and try to deal with the paper tiger. Russia has 0.13% of the Luhansk region left to liberate. The Russian armed forces have taken 2/3 of Kupiansk, and the liberation of Vovchansk is a matter of time. Ukrainian armed forces' losses in September amounted to 44.7 thousand. Away. Russia is not conducting forced mobilization. Russian losses are many times less than those of the Ukrainian armed forces. And the last thing he said, or was posted, he said, uncontrolled migration is eating Europe from the inside. The Europe we all loved so much is disappearing, added the president. Does that sound familiar? Remember Trump saying France isn't France anymore? So he said quite a bit there. But he also said that he wanted to normalize relations with the United States soon. Hi, Sparky. And another thing he did, through a translator, I could have gotten the whole speech, but it's hard to understand with a translator, but this isn't too hard to understand. He's giving comments on Charlie Kirk. People think, like those professors and jerks that were in that college I just played. They're saying, well, they're trying to make Charlie Kirk a national hero. No, he's international. He's an international hero. Thank you very much. But is the left going to use kind words from Putin about a man who lost something diabolical? Of course they are.
This is a disgusting thing, and moreover, it was done just in the open air, almost a live show, and it was totally disgusting. I'd like to render my condolences to the family of Mr. Kirk and his next of kin, and certainly we sympathize with him. Moreover, he was defending those traditional values, and by the way, the ones that Michael Gloss came to defend with arms in his hands, and he sacrificed his life for that, and he sacrificed his life here in a fight for the traditional values. As a Russian soldier, and Kirk gave his life there in the United States, but fighting for the same values. What is the difference? There is almost no difference.
He gave his life fighting for traditional values. And what happened to him was disgusting. And he gives his condolences to the family. There's nothing wrong with that. And he said his soldiers are fighting for traditional values. So they'll find something. Erica Kirk is a Russian asset now, right? Here you go. Here's a reminder, another reminder from Adam, the young man I started the broadcast about, going to be getting a new kidney soon. He put up facts. Obama shut the government down for 17 days in 2013 to force Obamacare. Just a friendly reminder. And an added reminder to that was that he also closed down national monuments where some soldiers in their 90s, the last time they would ever get to go to Omaha Beach or would ever get to see the new World War II memorial, were denied entrance into an open-air memorial. He put out guards that prevented them from touching the memorial or reading the names on the memorial, and they probably didn't survive till the next time around. That's what kind of POS Barack Hussein Obama is. And I believe that's one of the things that Trump was referring to when he said, "I'll never forgive you for what you did to our military." And I'll never forgive him either. So you heard Putin say that they're going to ban everything in the West. Everything's going to be heavily censored. Well, here's a young lady taking a chance. What's the saying they have? Speaking truth to power before an election. And I think this is a good way to end up the video. I wonder if she'll end up in jail. One thing to post real quick. To think. Abogota, a group of Christian lawyers, gathered nearly 30,000 signatures in support of Father Custodio Ballester, the 61-year-old Spanish priest who appeared in court today facing a possible 3-year prison sentence for criticizing radical jihadism. A priest in Spain, 3 years in jail. So she better watch what she's saying, but she's got courage. She's saying it. I'll play it for you. I hope you enjoy it. And I want to thank Miss Mindersu for going by. Buy me a coffee. Typing in. Buy me a coffee, Mountain Man, all one word. And joining the coffee crowd. So if you all would see your way to do that, I do appreciate it. And thank you, Mike and Bev. So anyway, you all enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
How is it?
Are you happy with Elon Musk? Are you an Elon Musk fan?
You know why? You know why Elon Musk terrifies you and you call it disinformation? Because it's speech you cannot control. That's it. You can't control, although you're trying. Listen, with the online safety
you think he's a Democrat?
You are trying.
You think he believes in democracy?
Do you believe in democracy?
Well, obviously I do, but...
How do you believe? Did people vote for the digital ID? Did people vote for the online safety bill? No, you don't believe in democracy. You don't believe in Brexit.
Elon Musk.
You want it over...
Do you think Elon Musk
is not an elected official. I want the leader of this country to believe in democracy.
Are you a fan of him?
I'm a fan for anyone that protects free speech. Yes, I am a fan of him. He is a genius. Have you thought what he's brought to... Someone who's created SpaceX and Tesla is an idiot. Is an idiot.
They keep blowing up. He's wiped millions off the share price of his own company.
Labour cabinet member who's achieved...
I think he's an absolute danger to himself and others.
In what sense? I'll tell you what's a danger. Is a corrupt Labour Party. Is a corrupt Labour Party that's... Yes, because you're running a country. I'll tell you what's a danger. Is you trying to chip away our freedoms bit by bit with the online safety bill, the digital ID, under the guise of safety.
I don't believe he actually thinks in democracy.
You know, the problem is that the establishment used to control what we see and hear. Now we have X, and that terrifies people like you. It terrifies. No, he's not. You are the establishment. Your party is the establishment. And actually, people are waking up to they've been lied to the whole time. And that terrifies